Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of All About B2B Marketing. Today we have an exciting discussion as we dive into full funnel video marketing, an essential strategy for modern B2B marketers. Joining us today is Rishabh, the founder of Content Beta. At Content Beta, they specialize in helping B2B companies scale content and creative video production across marketing, product, and success. So let's dive straight in. Hello Rishabh, welcome. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Sanjana. Happy to be here.
All right. Same here, Rishabh. Let's kick things off by learning a little bit more about you. Can you share your journey into video marketing? Like what inspired you to start Content Beta, first of all?
My journey with video has been since 2012, 2013. So, I first launched my online school, which was for Excel and analytics tools. And we focused totally on video courses. So, we were believer that the traditional way of textbooks and notepads and making notes will have to move towards more video based because it was more engaging. So we started with video courses, and because we had to build a marketing funnel towards our courses, we built our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Our YouTube channel has more than 400, 500K subscribers, and we realized that, hey, video is powerful, and we've somehow realized because YouTube algorithm also works on engagement, doesn't work on pure play, like how your thumbnail looks, not just one factor. So we thought, hey,
Yeah.
we've cracked how to tell a story and how to get engagement. So let's jump into this. And
Okay.
fast forward 2020, when it was COVID and probably education was taking a bit of back foot, we thought, hey,
Yeah.
let's try to use our video capabilities because we know how to make videos work for like the big enterprise software tools like Power BI, Tableau, and Excel. Why not do this for other software companies? And that's how we jumped into Content Beta. We initially started with customer success content because we thought, hey, let's replicate customer education kind of content for small to mid kind of SaaS companies. And then the marketers and product marketers came that, hey, can you create like product videos? Can you create like this product design collaterals? And that's how we tumbled into Content Beta.
That's such a fascinating journey, Rishabh. It's amazing how you turned your passion for videos into such an impactful business. I'm sure it's gonna be a success for you in the coming years. Right. So, Rishabh, let's get started with the topic and let's start with the basics. So, we often hear the buzzword, full funnel video marketing, but what does it really mean in the B2B context? Could you explain it to our audience?
So think of video marketing as what it was for blogs 10 years ago or 15 years ago, right? The way you could rank on Google that time was to just like publish a lot of content, have stuff your keywords in your blog content, and there you are like on the top of the search results for those keywords. It was more keyword volume driven, right? What we see the shift today, that Google is not the only contributor, right? You got to be present everywhere. So we have social media, we have communities, we have, of course, your traditional Google text blogs. We also have content which salespeople use, right? So the full funnel video marketing in what I believe is, hey, how do I be there with my content across the funnel? So even if my customer is not problem aware or solution aware, how do I be there as a resource? If my customer is aware of the problem, maybe not aware of the solution, maybe let me talk more about problem and then slowly take them towards my solution. So as a full funnel video marketer, what your goal is to how to capture the attention, convert that into demand, and offer that, convert that demand into a customer. So you got different types of content, and not just video content, you also got other interactive forms of content. But with respect to videos, how do I be everywhere every time so that I get the attention and convert that attention into demand?
Okay. Isn't it also like expensive and time consuming to create, video content? If you want to be everywhere, you need to be creating a lot of videos. You don't have to answer that now. We'll discuss that in the later part. But yeah, that's another question that I thought of immediately. But
I
I
think a
think
lot
we'll be
of people
discussing.
have that notion that, hey,
Yeah,
videos are expensive, but I'll take that too in the next part of your
yeah,
questions.
for sure, for sure. Okay, now that we understand the concept, let's talk about the types of videos. So, what kind of video content works best? So, you said, you have to like create videos. for like at each stage of the funnel. So like what types of videos work best at each stage of the funnel, and how do you ensure these videos resonate with your audience?
Right. So, so when I look at marketing funnel, and for this purpose, I mean, I wouldn't look at I mean, like a typical conical funnel, right? Where you have a big top of the funnel, where your customer, your prospects may or may not be aware of your solution, may or may not be aware of your problem, right? So you got to publish a lot of educational content. Now, this content could be in the form of webinars, could be in the form of like how people create these reels, could be in the format of founder branding, right? So founder is speaking out, recording himself, or that kind of content. So that's the top of the funnel where it is more educational. If you are, let's say you're an analytics company, teach them how to become best in analytics as a career. If you're teaching like designs, teach them how to be a great designer, right? What skills do they need? What are the major problems? Talk about problems and educate them about how they can become better at whatever profession they are in. So that's the top of the funnel. When somebody comes closer to the middle of the funnel, you have to assume that they are problem aware and probably solution aware. If they are not, then probably. So the kind of content is more of a product explainer. You don't need like a lot of content, but you need some content. So you need a product explainer to give you like an overview of the product. Some people even create use case videos, right? So if your product has, say, 6 critical features, show them how those features help them in a particular use case for your audience. People also do like feature videos, like separate from use case, which is just focused on that specific feature. So I would say more product oriented content in the middle of the funnel. In the bottom of the funnel, I mean, the goal is to now, I mean, you have to assume that, hey, this person is now fully aware of the problem and the solution, and most likely also evaluating other options. So in my head, two things strike. One is more content around social proof. So can I capture the voice of my other customer to make the content more relatable? Can I show them how my platform or my product help other businesses in their problem, right? So if you can capture social proof, and it doesn't have to be real fancy. I can take you through some of the uh, what is also critical is the duration, right? So
Okay.
um, so the duration of these videos is also quite funny. So at the top, in educational content, you're okay to have longer duration, but in the middle, it has to be real short duration, right? Because your customer is, you are fighting for your prospects' attention. So you can't be salesy for a longer time. You can be educational for a long time. So it's okay to publish a 30-minute, like a how to deep guide, and say how to create a web page using HTML, right? And then you are secretly pushing your own web platform. But it's not okay to be like long form content in the middle of the funnel. So yeah, coming towards the base. In the base, you are still okay because now your prospect has invested his time, mind share, and you are okay to use longer format, longer duration videos to make sure to have enough attention. So one is the social proof video, which you call video case studies or video testimonials.
Yeah.
The other kind of content again goes into product content, right? And a lot of people use how-to videos just to communicate to their prospect that, hey, we are not just offering a platform, we even teach you how to use our platform, and our support is amazing, just to show off. And of course, how-to videos are also used post conversion. So once, if you have a free trial user, it's your job to ensure that the product adoption is the strongest, the time to onboarding is the shortest.
Yeah.
Right? So you need this how-to videos to educate your customers, prospects, and then your customer that, hey, this is how to best use of my product, and don't unsubscribe.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, now we know the types of videos at each stage of the funnel. We should also be talking about, measuring success of those videos. So when it comes to such videos, what metrics should marketers focus on, across different stages of the funnel? Could you, if you have, some real world success stories that you can share with us, that would be great.
Sure. So our fundamental line of thought is just like a video script, like an external video script. If your only job at the top of the funnel is to ensure that the prospect goes towards the middle of the funnel.
Okay.
Don't expect that, hey, you'll get conversions, you'll get
Yeah.
signups, you'll get queries, demo requests. It can't happen that. So the only way to measure success is, hey, what is the reach of that content? Because I mean, these days the distribution method is social media or YouTube, the organic ones. So, what is the reach of that content? What is the impression? How is the audience engaging? If you have posted this on YouTube, how many views, how many likes, what kind of comments? If you have posted it on LinkedIn, what's the kind of impression it's getting? What's the kind of engagement, right? So that's how you measure the content. If the content is in the middle of the funnel, right, then you can measure that, hey, am I getting demo requests? Am I getting signups? Am I getting like inbound queries? And that's a fair assumption, right? So in the middle of the funnel, I would measure that, hey, if somebody is converting into a lead, are they coming on my website and doing some activity if they're posted outside the website? And if they're at the bottom of the funnel, your goal is to measure conversions. Are they getting converted into a paid customer, or are they, if your goal is adoption, are they adopting my product really well? Are they using like these 5 features as opposed to, I mean, one of our customers were using case studies, I mean, video case studies, and they have this file which we had recorded that, hey, if in the journey, when there were no bottom of the funnel kind of content, there were just, I mean, most people use text blurs, right? Or maybe 5-pager PDFs. The days it required to close was 33% higher. And the reason for that was now the prospect has to spend more time reading through the long form case studies, searching on internet, searching on G2 to get convinced, because that person also needs validation and cannot go purely on your website or your discovery calls. So that stage you got to measure the conversions into like paid conversions or whatever you're measuring. Sometimes I think middle and the bottom of the funnel have similar metrics, because even in the middle of the funnel you're trying to measure sign up. But yeah, what I could also say is the cost of production also is inverse, right? So at the top, I mean, also at the top you need a lot of quantity of videos, right? But you can't create like large quantity of videos at a very high production cost. The way to think about this is to spread the cost equally among the funnel, but in the top you need more quantities. The cost of the production has to go significantly down. You are okay to have reasonable cost of production middle and the bottom of the funnel, but the top of the funnel, the cost of production is reasonably down. Now, in terms of duration, you have to figure out if that, it depends upon where you are hosting that content. If you're hosting that content on Instagram or LinkedIn, it has to be like 1 minute kind of content. If you're hosting on YouTube, it could be 3 to 5 minutes. If you're hosting on YouTube Shorts, again, 1 minute. So it depends upon where you're hosting that kind of content. I talk about webinar repurposing, that you don't have to recreate the content again later in the discussion.
Awesome. That's amazing. So now let's, shift gears to content repurposing. I mean, videos take time and resources to create, so maximizing their impact is key. So what strategies do you recommend for, repurposing video content effectively across different channels? Like, are there any tools or workflows that you have, or you follow that makes the process easy for you?
So the easiest one of repurposing is, for example, if you're using Riverside for podcast recording, they have a feature that, hey, can you cut a clip between 2-minute 5 second to 2-minute 45 second, right?
Yeah.
And that could become a ready user clip. And everybody's doing this, right? So the native features of the platform, everybody's doing this. What everybody is not doing is, after you edit that piece of content, where are you going to host that content, right? And how much competition is there for that content? So for example, if you are trying to post that repurposed content on LinkedIn, you don't have to do fancy editing because you're not competing with a lot of guys. But if you're trying to post this on Instagram or YouTube Shorts, you have to ensure that the post production is really well. A mere clip with an intro and outro will not work. It has to be a high quality production. Otherwise, people have minimal attention span. They'll just swipe up to go to the next piece of content. So you got to ensure that it has a hook that will make sure that the person will watch the rest 45 seconds. It cannot be a pure play that, hey, there's a question and answer, I just posted it as is, right? So before you think about repurposing, think about which are the channels you want to use this piece of content. But yeah, so once you figure out the channel, and of course we use After Effects and Illustrator to create those fancy videos, but you can use the native features. Descript has this the cutter feature Riverside has is you can just basically cut your clip and do some J cuts. I think even Canva you can upload basic clips and have smooth transitions between 2 or 3 clips. So that you could do for content repurposing. What people could also do is, so every marketing teams create like pillar content, right? For a quarter or for a year, and probably they'll have 4 or 5 pillar content, which may or may not be a video, which could be like a 10,000 word article or a guide or a white paper. Now, so you already created a pillar content. How do you maximize that? You can use these days, of course, you can use ChatGPT and Cloud AI to convert an engaging script. You can even put down here, I want for this platform, I want these kind of hooks, I want this is my duration. So you can do that and convert that long form piece of content into scripts, and you can either stand in front of camera and speak about it or hire a creator in your team and probably do that. But you got to do that and have a call to action that, hey, if you want to learn more about this topic, look at my guide or look at my 10,000 word article, look at my
Amazing.
maybe a case study, right? You got to ensure that it's not just video content you got to repurpose. You also got to repurpose your long form text content. You can if you have a webinar can be converted into, I would say it could be converted into a short, like a video short. It could be converted into a carousel post, right? You could convert that into infographic. You could convert that into a one pager. So think about different formats to repurpose a long form piece of content. For videos, what I would also recommend is pushing it. So don't just use the video as is. Figure out where is the hook, edit that piece of hook, put it at the start of the video. You would have seen how influencers on Instagram or TikTok would say, here are the 5 things, here are the 5 mistakes you are doing when you go to Japan, right? You don't start with, hey, the point number 1, point number 2. So ensure that whatever content you repurpose, you only repurpose to get into more platform, right? To get more reach. When you're doing video content, ensure that there is a hook at the start. Otherwise, you don't want to just tick in the box. You want to ensure that there's enough reach.
That's an amazing point at the end, right? So we spoke about, repurposing, but do you think we could also be repurposing a single video asset to ensure, the best possible ROI, given that we have invested a lot on creating that video?
So if that video is a webinar or a podcast, for sure, right? Because there are audience who will invest 30 minutes of their time to watch that long form content. But there are people who are not interested in watching a 30-minute piece of content. They can only spend a minute or 2 to your piece of content and see if that makes sense for them to go into long form. So those kind of content for sure, right? Because you've already invested in creating that piece of content. But if you're doing, for example, let's say you're doing like an explainer video, right? What I would also recommend is, let's say it's a motion animation video. Create clips out of that 2-minute, 3-minute video, which you can reuse in your emails, like sales enablement emails, like to follow up. You can use it on your social media, like 5-second clips. If you're creating use case videos, also create the vertical format, right? I mean, these days with every phone, most users are vertical. They see vertical orientation of their phones. It is also important if you're trying to post a use case video on your YouTube, on your website, also ensure you have a vertical format, right? So whenever, just like how mobile websites are responsive, videos have to be responsive. Now they can't be automatic, but when you repurpose, you can turn that into a specific dimension to ensure that even if somebody is on a different device orientation, they get the same experience.
Okay, got it. Right. So I think we're at the end of the session. So one last question before we end. So in today's remote first world, video production comes with its own set of challenges. So what are your, go-to tools or tips for producing high quality videos remotely? And for teams on a budget, how can they still achieve, professional looking results?
So a lot of people have this notion that, hey, videos are expensive, I don't want to sign up for this, right? Or and it's not their fault. I mean, traditionally, the image of video is what you see in media, right? So there's a big camera crew, there are lights, and there are multiple screens, and the editors are spending like endless times to edit that videos. It's not that today. Today, you have great storage, you have great cameras, microphone, and it's all portable. So you don't need a studio setup every time. I'm not saying that studio setup is bad, but if studio setup is 100, a remote studio setup could be probably 95, right? Now,
Okay.
now what tools do you need? First, to ensure a great content quality, ensure you have right equipment. So get a great 4K camera, get microphone and lights. I can send you a list of our recommendations of lights, camera, and microphone. Um, that's the number one step. Even if your content is great, but if your production quality is average, it's very easy to ignore average content, right? Because every minute, thousands of videos are getting uploaded on social media, right? So please ensure that you have a right production quality by getting the right equipment. After that, plug into any recording tool. So, for example, if you're Riverside is a great tool, right? Don't
Yeah.
use Zoom or Google Meet for recording. Um, these platforms are communications platform. They are optimized to ensure that the meeting or the communication is smooth. And sometimes they also compromise on the streaming quality or the audio quality. So always use tools like Podcaster or Riverside or Zencast to ensure that my production quality is up to date, because what these tools do, these tools record the content locally. And we record the content locally, it's not the problem of internet or bandwidth. And slowly they'll upload the content in the cloud whenever they see the bandwidth. So I think second thing is getting the right tool set. Third, if you want to edit it yourself, I think Canva and Descript are great tools. You could create like your company branding within those platforms, so that whatever piece of content you're publishing will have a same look and feel, which have a same color element in intro, outro, right? These days, with advent of mobile phones, sometimes you don't even need a laptop. What I do, so I produce, like, I post 3 videos every week,
Okay.
and I don't record every day. What I do is I book a so just to make sure that it's soundproof, because and I get a green screen on my back with lights. I go with my phone. My phone is S21, a Samsung S21, which is a regular phone. You go there, and I just use my hand as a selfie stick and record myself for an hour. Right?
Okay,
I
that's
prepare
amazing.
for I prepare like 50 questions. Each question, I ensure that, hey, I don't take more than a minute to answer. So I already have some points in mind. I've not scripted it, because if you read it, then people can make out. These days with AI eye correction, you can even correct your if you're reading the script. But that's what I do. I record for an hour every month, and from that hour long of recording, we create 50 clips of
Amazing.
1 minute each. And of course, because we have in-house production, we could edit it and make it look pretty.
Yeah.
But then we have a pipeline for 2 months. That, hey, now I have a pipeline. And it's also easy to generate topics, right? All you have to do is hang out on social media or hang out on communities and see what people are asking questions. If you see a
Exactly.
questions being asking, somebody's asking similar kind of questions repeatedly, look at the comments, look at the Reddit particular industry, and see what questions people are asking, and try to give your own original take on how to answer that question to make. I mean, your goal, if you're posting content like as a founder brand or something, which is mostly remote, right? A remote production. So your goal is to how to look like an expert, right? And for that, you have to produce a lot of educational content. Our cost of production for something like this is very, very low. We normally produce, counting out my cost of time, we'll be producing such clips for probably $50 or $100, right? And these clips I could produce at mass scale. So yeah, so I think remote production is something which people have to do, and it's not just used for founder branding. We do video testimonials through remote video production too. So
Yeah.
our customers could be anywhere in the world. We send them a video kit, record ourselves, like it's a producer-led interview, make sure that, and we use tools like Zencast and Riverside for
Yeah.
creating those videos.
Awesome. So do you rent these equipments and go to the studio, or like does the studio provide you the equipments to record those videos?
The videos which I record, the studio
Yeah.
has just lights and green screen on the back.
Okay, cool.
I just use my phone and no fancy equipment for now. Of course, I can move to DSLR to make sure it looks better. But for now,
Yeah.
this is my quick fix.
Okay. That's interesting. If you can also share your list of equipments with me, I can add it to the description so people can check it out for themselves.
I'll do that.
Right. Okay, thank you. Amazing. This is the end of the session. It was really insightful and engaging. I think I got everything that I wanted. Thanks, Rishabh, for sharing your expertise and actionable tips on, full funnel video marketing. It was a pleasure having you here.
Have a lovely day.
You too. Bye-bye.